would I buy this vehicle? Personally, ladies and gentlemen, the all-new Lexus TX 550h Plus is the top-of-the-line TX model. We're powered by the 3.5-liter naturally aspirated hybridized Toyota V6, the 2GR FXS. And this is the biggest, baddest, highest trim level of the TX. MSRP, $80,000, a ton of money. New spindle grille, I think it actually looks pretty good, at least in darker colors, using a little bit more negative space rather than the prior generations that I think were much more controversial. This one works better in my opinion. This is a big vehicle, over 200 inches in length. We've got these 22-inch wheels, but I think it looks great. I think they did a good job styling it. I like this, this darker blue color as well. And in this highest trim, Direct 4 all-wheel drive comes standard. In the lower 350, you're gonna have just front-wheel drive or Direct 4 all-wheel drive. Then you have the 500 above that. You do the F-Sport, adaptive dampers, rear steer. This one does not have that. Even though this is the highest trim level, this one is not F-Sport, all right? This is the plug-in hybrid though. And unlike the Sequoia, this is not body on frame. You actually do have a lot of cargo space. You don't have that high floor over here. You can actually fold these down electronically, of course, and get a good amount of space back here. You can close that. I'm gonna show you the rear now. It's actually pretty spacious. Captain's chairs. And to get into the rear, it's all electronic. You press and hold this button, boom, slide it forward, and you can fold these up. Compared to other vehicles that are 3-row CUVs, this one has one of the more functional rear seats. And I wouldn't want to sit here in a long road trip, but if I needed to, it's not that big of a deal. You know, sure, the floor is a little bit higher. That's kind of natural in these 3 rows. That's why I would not want to sit here for long periods of time. But I'm also 6'1". I think a lot of people could sit here without issue. You got your little USB-C charging port. Nice usable cup holder and space over there. I'm digging it, I'm digging it. Now this is replacing the Lexus RXL, which is their other prior 3-row CUV. This one is based on the Grand Highlander, which I haven't driven yet, but they've made this a lot more premium, both in terms of the driving experience as well as the interior. I love the details here. I mean, the materials, they're so nice. Super soft leather. Mark Levinson upgraded audio, which is great. We're not going to show that in this video because that's not what this channel is about. But getting here to the driver's seat, really, really nice materials. The controls here for the transmission, same as in a Prius. So it's the same kind of hybrid interface. Obviously, this is a different engine, different powertrain. This is the 2GR FXS hybridized 3.5-liter, which, by the way, my Lotus Emira is powered by a 3.5-liter 2GR FE engine. But here we have the same controls. So the reverse is just like that. You can see the cameras right here, 360 cam. Drive is like that. It's actually pretty intuitive once you get used to it. Not a big learning curve by any means. I was doing the, I was holding this, which then does charge mode. So the engine is going to be charging the battery. This is a plug-in hybrid with around 33 miles of range, EV only. And I've been pushing it pretty hard, seeing the limits, seeing how the car drives. So we're eating through that battery pretty fast. Overall, the interior, the build quality, and the materials, super premium, super nice. Even just the feel of the steering wheel, I love. But the design, I think, is going to be a little bit polarizing. You know, I like this. I like the suede. I like this stuff. But a lot of piano black here, here, here. And, you know, the screen, I don't know. Some people love it. Some people not as much. I think that the Mazda CX-90, in my opinion, has a better looking interior. a better stylized interior in my opinion, but the build quality there is not nearly as nice. The material is not nearly as nice as something like this, but also different price points you have to keep in mind. This is $80K fully loaded. So we're gonna get this into drive, still have the cameras up. I'm gonna close this. And I wanna show you real quick, you do have some different modes you can choose from. So we're gonna put this in park, so it allows us to customize. Otherwise it will say, come to a stop. Even if you're at a stop, you have to put it into park. Powertrain, we're gonna keep that in sport. Steering is gonna be sport. It just weightens it up a little bit. And air conditioning, normal versus eco, leave that in normal. Large 14-inch touchscreen, and it's pretty quick. I mean, no complaints here really. You have wired and wireless Apple CarPlay. You have a charging pad right here, but I like to use the cable because why not? I got it here. These cubbies, these little cup holders, they come out. Customizable storage, I like that. I think that's very cool. Modular design there. And we have a heads-up display. So, let's get her going. Got my CarPlay up. And we're out here in San Diego. Rancho Santa Fe Cars and Coffee this morning was incredible. First time coming out here, and I'm definitely impressed. Like that we have the physical HVAC right here. It's always right there, easy access. And for my fellow watch enthusiasts, we're rocking the Casio CA53 calculator watch. Because I figured we're driving a Japanese car, gotta have a Japanese watch. So first things, this is a big vehicle. You're gonna feel that. This thing weighs almost 5,000 pounds. But this is unibody, not body on frame. So your towing capacity is up to 5,000 pounds with the optional towing package. We have an eCVT. If you go in the 500, you have a 4-cylinder hybrid, not plug-in, that has an automatic transmission torque converter. This one is eCVT with simulated gears. See, that's a D3, D2. And a lot of us don't like CVTs, but Toyota has really tuned their drivetrains, their hybrid drivetrains, so well. They're so seamless going between electric motors and internal combustion. I mean, the last few days driving this, I haven't once complained about the powertrain. I feel like it's seamless, smooth, powerful, quiet. This car is, it has excellent ride quality. Super quiet. There's even active noise canceling. So as you're driving it, wind noise, road noise, they use the out of phase frequency to cancel, just like noise canceling headphones, but they pump that throughout the cabin. It makes a big difference. Going over bumps, you're not hearing, they've actually stiffened the chassis, so you're not hearing the sounds of the seats and the chassis flexing here and there. They've stiffened, reinforced it, added more NVH materials to really make this a pleasant experience. Now the thing that surprised me the most about this is that it's actually kind of fun to drive at times. Like when you start pushing it, it's quick. 404 horsepower, no slouch. Great ride quality. And if you are, really needing a 6 or 7 seater, this is a great option. The one thing that surprised me was the cost. $80,000 is a lot of money. I mean, I guess the price of all vehicles is going up, but I was not expecting this to be 80 grand as option. That's a lot of money. But if you're the kind of person who doesn't need to tow a track toy, 5,000 pounds is a lot. It's gonna be enough for most people. For me, I want something that I can tow my, my vehicles to the track, so I need at least 6,000. But for the average person that wants a family hauler, I think this is great. Now, previously, there was a lot of compromise in this class. So you would see that those unibody vehicles, 3-row, they're essentially like minivans for people that don't want to drive minivans. You look at some of the other competition, the previous vehicles that were similar to this in this class, and they wouldn't drive that well. The front-wheel drive nature was very much apparent. But as the technologies are improving, as the tuning and design and engineering is improving, you don't feel like you're making that same level of compromise. Driving this even hard, you know, it is a front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive system, but I don't feel torque steer. I don't feel the limitations of a front-wheel drive system when I'm driving this vehicle. And yeah, it's a McPherson strut, multi-link rear, but the suspension tuning is still excellent. You don't have to always have that double wishbone to get a good ride quality. Obviously, you're not going to be off-roading this vehicle, but let's be real, most people that get off-road capable SUVs, they're maybe running over a curb at their local Starbucks parking lot, right? That 2GR engine, that V6, it does sound pretty good. I haven't driven this in the inline-4 version, but at the price point, given how premium it feels in this cabin, I'm not sure how well the sound of a 4-cylinder would fit the rest of the character of the vehicle. Steering is not too light. We are in sport mode. You're not getting feedback. This is a Lexus large 3-row CUV, but the steering is direct and weighted sufficiently to give you that confidence when you do want to boogie a little bit. Even over these less than ideal surfaces, great damping, great suspension tuning. It's a comfortable vehicle. Now, it's not all perfect though, so I do have two complaints. The first being these buttons here. The reason they designed them this way, and it sounds really good, is that you can use fewer buttons and then get more function out of them. So if I touch this without actually pressing, you'll see on the HUD, this is the adaptive cruise control. And then based on where my thumb is hovering, it'll actually highlight what that button does. And then if I press it, it'll engage it, right? So I can then press this page button, go to the other pages, and now it's gonna change the display right here. So I can swap between 3 different displays, and I can even customize them. So this is display 1, display 2, display 3, and again, you can customize, you hold this button, I guess you can't do that on number 1, but I think on number 3 you can. Okay, actually I think the vehicle might need to be stopped because it's not letting me change it, but I was playing around with different settings. The issue is that it sounds good, but then you have to look there, which is technically not really taking your eyes off the road, but it's still a little bit distracting. Especially with the target demographic, those who are buying a vehicle like this, I don't think having these complex technologies is the best move. Same thing here though. You get 2 different pages here, and you can see what the buttons do up there. And if I hover before pressing, it'll highlight what that thing does. So, something to get used to. I do like that the seats have this adjustable thigh support because, if you're taller and all the seats end here, like, it's not as comfortable, but here I can extend this all the way, feels really good. But the seats in this trim, they're heated and cooled, both the front and second row seats, but the issue I have is when the upper back is kind of rounded and it forces you into this kyphotic posture where you can't maintain good upright posture. It's like forcing you to round your shoulders forward and really hunch, and I don't like that. And it might work for certain body types. I think someone a little bit smaller than me, it might work well, but here it doesn't feel that great. Like the lower part, I like the thigh support, I like, the materials, the softness, that's great, but just my upper back is constantly being pushed forward, and then also the headrest is jutting my head a little bit forward too. Now, I don't need to be having super erect, proper posture when I'm driving, but I also don't want to be a caveman. Something in the middle would be ideal. Maybe having an adjustable headrest where you could slide it forward and back, that would be nice here, but not an option. It's one of those things that you need to sit in. I think most people would find these seats comfortable, but there are certain body types like mine where it's not ideal. It's not uncomfortable, but I was hoping for a little bit better. This thing boogies, guys, when you need it to. Immediate torque. It definitely boogies. The other thing Toyota has done really well is calibrating the various driver aids. So things like the lane keep assist or cross traffic alert, it's well calibrated and you're not getting an annoying number of false positives like I got with the CX-90 as an example. This definitely feels like a well-sorted, fully fleshed out vehicle. Things are tuned properly, the way it rides, the comfort, the interface, all that stuff. I think perhaps the most impressive thing is actually the powertrain. Because just how seamless and smooth and powerful, and it still makes a good sound. It's actually, on paper, with the eCVT and being a plug-in hybrid and whatever, you may have certain expectations, but actually getting behind the wheel, I have no complaints about it. It's really well dialed. Now, would I buy this vehicle? Personally, no, but I'm not the target demographic, right? I don't have kids, I don't have a dog. I do want to tow a vehicle. I want to tow something that's going to require more than that 5,000 pound limit. And the vehicle is probably a little bit too large for my needs. I don't need a third row. But if I was, let's say, focusing on a family hauler, but I didn't want a minivan, and I wanted something that, still drove well, because this does drive surprisingly well. When you're pushing this on the twists and the turns, it's actually kind of fun. It's a vehicle that they've sorted the driving dynamics well as they could for a vehicle of this size. But if my priorities were different, and I wanted the family hauler for 7 or 6 people, you can do a bench second row, and I didn't need that towing capacity, then this is a really compelling offer. The only issue I have is the price. I mean, $80K, that's a lot of money for a vehicle like this. But granted, to get this level of refinement and polish and build quality and NVH and, you are getting a lot, but $80K is a bit of a stretch. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm obviously not the target demographic. I think those who are in the target demographic, please do comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Is it a little bit too much money for what the vehicle is? Or is it a fair price? Because you are getting quite a bit for your money. Oh, here we go. See, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, this thing is quick. Quicker than it needs to be. We have enough charge now. We're in EV only mode. You can control that. Again, same interface as what you have in the Prius. So this is the auto, EV, HV. This is EV only mode. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be slower than when you're running in hybrid mode. But for just getting around town, that's going to be enough, up to 33 miles of range. All right, my friends, big thanks to Lexus for loaning me this vehicle for review. Subscribe if you haven't already. Much love, and I'll see you all in the next one.